Welcome to all. My name is Dr. K. Sujata, Assistant Professor of Mathematics, Government Degree College, Kukatpally. Today I am going to discuss about dimension of a vector space. In previous lecture, we have a basis of a vector space. Just recall what is the basis of a vector space. Let S equal to V1, V2, so on, Vn be a set of vectors, be a set of vector. It is a subset of V. Then S is spans V and S is linearly independent. Then we say that S is called as a basis of a vector space. In previous lecture we had the definition. Now I am going to discuss about the dimension of a vector space. The dimension of a vector space is defined as the number of vectors in the basis for V, then the dimension of V is equal to number of vectors in a basis of S. That means the dimension of a vector space is defined to be number of vectors in a basis for V. Since we have to take V as a vector space, S is a basis of S is a basis for V. Therefore, dimension of V is equal to the number of vectors in S. S is already basis of V. So this is the definition of the dimension of a vector space. Finite dimensional. A vector space V is said to be a finite dimensional if it has the basis consisting of only finite number of vectors. Then it is called as a finite dimensional. Infinite dimensional. In a vector space V is not finite dimensional, then that type of vector space are called as a infinite dimensional. The main definition of the dimension of a vector space is defined to be the number of vectors in a basis for V, then the dimension of V is equal to the number of vectors in a basis of S. Finite dimensional means the basis contains only finite number of vectors, then the vector space is said to be a finite dimensional. If the vector space is not a finite dimensional, then it is called as a infinite dimensional. Some note points. Dimension of zero vector space. It contains only zero vector alone. That's why the dimension of the zero vector space is always zero. If because of dimension of therefore because of zero vector space means it contains only zero vector alone. That's why the dimension of V is defined to be zero. How to define the geometrical representation of the dimension of a vector space V? Spanning set, already in previous lecture I told spanning sets and linearly independence. The set satisfies both the conditions spanning set and linearly independent set, then the set is called as a basis of a vector space. In the condition spanning set means the number of vectors of S must be always greater than or equal to n. And in linearly independent set, the number of vectors of S is less than or equal to n. Therefore, these two conditions are satisfied, then the number of vectors of S is equal to n. That is called as a dimension of V equal to n. Because of you know that in the sets A is greater than or equal to B, B is greater than A is less than or equal to B, then we say that A is equal to B. So here the set of vectors in S satisfies both the conditions. The number of vectors of S is greater than or equal to n. The number of vectors of S is less than or equal to n. Then the number of vectors of S is equal to n. Since S is a basis of a vector space, Then by the definition of dimension of V is equal to n. In the second important point, dimension of V equal to n for S is a subset of R equal to V. S is a spanning set. It implies by the definition of the spanning set, therefore the number of vectors of spanning set must be greater than or equal to n. It can be given from the example also. We can easily prove that. Therefore, the number of vectors of S spanning set is greater than or equal to n. S is linearly independent set. Therefore, the number of vectors of S is a spanning set. The number of vectors of S is less than or equal to n. S is linearly independent set means it contains at most n vectors. That's why it is less than or equal to n. Therefore, S is a basis. Therefore, from these two conditions, the number of vectors of S is equal to n. That means dimension of V equal to n. So from the above figure already explaining that, therefore that can be represented like this. Given dimension of V equal to n, if W is a subspace of V, it implies dimension of W is always less than or equal to n. This can be explained through the example. If V is equal to R cube, then dimension of V is equal to 3. Because of V equal to R cube, it is a three-dimensional vector space. It contains three vectors. It always forms a basis of a vector space. That's why dimension of V is equal to 3. Because of the number of vectors of R cube, three vectors that can be written in the form of standard basis 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1, that forms a standard basis for R cube. Therefore, dimension of V is equal to 3. Considering the subset of R cube, that is equal to W is equal to R square, which is a subspace of R cube. Due to number of vectors in the standard basis, we know that dimension of W is 2. Because of W is equal to R square, it is a two-dimensional. Therefore, dimension of W is always 2. Therefore, that is smaller than the dimension of V. That means you have to remember the subspace dimension is always less than or equal to dimension of the main vector space. That here we have to represent here. Dimension of W is less than or equal to n means the dimension of the subspace of a vector space V is always less than or equal to dimension of the main vector space. These three are important points to note down in the dimension of a vector space. Therefore, dimension of the zero vector space is always 0. Dimension of the vector space V equal to n, since because of S is a spanning set, this can be satisfied. S is linearly independent set. Therefore, the number of vectors of S is less than or equal to n. From these two conditions, we can get this one. Therefore, S forms a basis. That's why dimension of V equal to n. The dimension of a subspace of a vector space is always less than or equal to n. Now, take the example to prove that find to find the dimension of a vector space according to the standard basis. Here, standard basis means how many vectors are there in the standard basis. That is called as a dimension of the vector space R to the power of n. Therefore, this is the simplest way to find the dimension of a vector space, is to count the number of vectors in the standard basis of for that vector space. First example, vector space R to the power of n. Already we discussed in the previous lecture. Standard basis equal to E1, E2, so on, En. N vectors are there. Therefore, dimension of R to the power of n equal to n. Because of standard basis means it forms a basis for the two conditions satisfies linearly independent in the S spans r to the power of n. That's why it is a standard basis for the r to the power of n. What is the dimension of a vector space means? The number of vectors in the basis of a vector space is called as a dimension of the vector space. That's why here getting dimension of r to the power of n is equal to n. Second example, the vector space, that is matrix space M by n order. The standard basis is also Eij, therefore it contains M by n order means therefore it can be represented like this. Therefore dimension of M by n order matrix therefore is equal to M into n. This is the order of the matrix space M by n. Because of it contains mn elements, that's why the dimension of the matrix space is M by n is equal to mn. Coming to the other example, third example, vector space Pnx. Pnx means polynomial vector space. What is the polynomial vector space means? What is the standard basis of a polynomial space? 1, x square, and so on, x power n. So here see the standard basis of the polynomial vector space. Here x square, x power n, here n elements including 1, we get n plus 1 elements in the standard basis. That's why dimension of the polynomial space Pnx equal to n plus 1. This is the simplest way to find out the dimension of a vector space for the standard basis of the main vector spaces. Coming to the fourth example, vector space P of x. This is the infinite polynomial space. Therefore, the standard basis of the infinite polynomial space is 1 x square, so on. This is the infinite polynomial space. Then the dimension of P of x is equal to infinity because of the numbers of the basis of a infinite polynomial space cannot be counted. That's why dimension of P of x is equal to infinity. These are the dimensions of the standard vector spaces by using the standard basis. How to find the dimension of a vector space? And also find the dimension of a subspace of R cube. W is equal to determining the dimension of a subspace of R cube. Therefore, the subspaces are given A and B. W is equal to D, C minus D, C. And C and D are real numbers. Another subspace can be defined here. W is equal to 2B, B, 0, where B is a real number. First, to find the dimension of a subspace of R cube, first find the basis of the subspace of a R cube. Basis means it satisfies the two conditions. One is the subspace spans R cube and that will be linearly independent set. That's why first we have to find a set of linearly independent set of vectors, span the subspace of a vector space. Therefore, now find the dimension of the subspace of a vector space. Take the first subspace, W is equal to D, C minus D, C. So this can be represented taking the first constant C, separate the variables. First write 0, C, C plus D minus D, 0. So take the outside the constants C and D. Therefore, you can represent C into 0, 1, 1 and D into 1 minus 1, 0. Separate the constants, we can get this type of a linear combination. See here, any vector can be expressed as a linear combination of the vectors of W. That's why S contains the vectors 0, 1, 1, 1 minus 1, 0. This is the set S contains these two vectors. Therefore, S spans the subspace W, and also uh, these two vectors forms a linearly independent set. That's why S is a basis for W. Therefore, how many vectors in the basis of a subspace of W? Two vectors. It contains the two vectors. By the definition of the dimension of a vector space or subspace, therefore, dimension of W is equal to number of vectors in the set. Yes, that is a basis of, therefore, is equal to 2. Similarly, for taking the second example, W is equal to 2b0. So that can be taking the outside the real constant b into 210. Therefore, S equal to 210. Only single vector. Therefore, it spans always W, and also single non-zero vectors forms linearly independent. Therefore, S is a basis for W. Dimension of W is equal to the basis of S of W contains only one vector. Therefore, dimension of W is equal to the number of vectors in the basis set S, that is equal to 1. This is the way to find out the dimensions of the subspace of R cube. Find the dimension of the subspace of M 2 by 2 matrices. Let W be the subspace of all symmetric matrices in M by 2 by 2 matrix. What is the dimension of subspace W? Here taking the W is equal to A, B, B, C. Because of it is a symmetric matrix, therefore we can take the subspace M2 by 2 matrices taken in the form of A, B, B, C, where A, B, C are real numbers. Now take this matrix A, B, B, C. This can be written as A is common from this matrix, we can get 1, 0, 0. B is common from this matrix, we can get 0, 1, 1, 0. C is common, we can get 0, 0, 0, 1. Therefore, this matrix can be taking the variables outside, we can write like this. Therefore, see, any vector of W can be expressed as a linear combination of these three vectors. Therefore, these three vectors forms a set S. Therefore, S equal to 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. That means any vector of W can be expressed as a linear combination of these vectors. That means S spans W. And also by saying these examples, therefore S is linearly independent. Therefore S is a basis for W. Therefore dimension of W is equal to the number of vectors in the basis set. How many vectors are there here? See, 1, 2, 3. That's why dimension of W is equal to the number of vectors of S, that is equal to 3. Now we are going to discuss about the theorem. To identify a basis in a n-dimensional vector space. Let be a vector space of dimension n. First, if S is equal to V1, V2, so on, Vn is linearly independent set of vectors in V, then S is a basis for V. And if S is equal to V1, V2, so on, Vn spans W, then S is called as a basis for V. Why? Because any one of the condition is followed, then it forms a basis of for V. Both the results are due to the fact of that the number of vectors of S is equal to n. because of it is a n-dimensional vector space. That means therefore the number of vectors in the both the sets it is same. Already by seeing this definition, spanning sets the number of vectors of S is greater than or equal to n. Therefore the number of vectors in a linearly independent set, the number of vectors of S is less than or equal to n. Both these two conditions satisfied, then the number of vectors of S is equal to n. That is called as a dimension of V equal to n. This is the way to find out the basis of a n-dimensional vector space, and it forms a basis for that vector space. Now we are going to discuss about the number of vectors in a basis theorem. If a vector space V has one basis with n vectors, then every basis for V has n vectors. So what is the statement of this theorem? If a vector space V has one basis with n vectors, then every basis for V is also contains n vectors. Previous theorem, we know that every linearly independent center contains at most n vectors in a vector space. If there is a basis, n vectors spanning that vector space. So this is the theorem. We know that already. By using that theorem, now we have to prove that the number of vectors in the different bases also having the same vectors. That is the main definition of this theorem. Therefore, now we have to prove this theorem taking the two bases for the different bases for a vector space V. First basis S equal to V1, V2, Vn, and S dash equal to U1, U2, so on Um are the two bases with the different sizes and the different elements for V. It contains n vectors, it contains m vectors. That's why are two different bases for a vector space V. Now we have to prove that in this theorem, the number of vectors of S is equal to the number of vectors of S dash. That is the required one. If a vector space V has one basis with one vector, then any other basis are for V also n vectors. Okay, there are two different bases having the same vectors in the vector space. Therefore, by the definition of S is a basis spanning set and S dash is a linearly independent set of vectors. S is a basis. Therefore, spanning set. Spanning set means therefore S is a linearly independent set of vectors. Therefore, that implies it contains n vectors. S dash contains m vectors. By the previous definition of the spanning set and linearly independent set definition, it implies m is less than or equal to n. The number of vectors of linearly independent set of vectors is always less than or equal to the number of vectors of the spanning set. That's why m is less than or equal to n. We can take different statements. First, now we have to take S is a basis spanning set of V and S is linearly independent set of vectors by using the same theorem. That is, what is that one? The number of vectors of the spanning set is more than the linearly independent set of vectors. Here S dash contains m vectors, S contains n vectors. That's why it implies n is less than or equal to m. That's why because of these two, A less than or equal to B, B less than or equal to A, that forms A equal to B. That's why here n equal to m. So taking the two different bases with the different number of vectors, but it forms a they are equal. So n equal to m. Therefore, any two bases of a vector space having the same number of vectors. For example, for R cube, the standard basis is 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1 can span this vector space. You can take the can span of R cube have exactly 3 vectors. For example, S equal to 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2 minus 2, 0, 1 is another basis of R cube because of S also can span of R cube and S is linearly independent. Therefore, S has 3 vectors. Therefore, that means the number of vectors in the two different bases also having the same number. Here R cube, what is the standard basis? This one. You take the another set of vectors, yes, it also forms a basis for R cube. That means therefore they having the same number of vectors in the both the bases. That is the main in this theorem. Therefore now definitions of the row space, column space and null space. In this section, we discuss the three vector spaces. One is row space, column space, null space. These three are important spaces. Therefore, what is the definition of the row space? The vector space spanned by the row vectors of the matrix A, then it is called as a row space of a matrix. The vector space spanned by the row vectors of the matrix A. Next, what is the column space? The vector space, the vector space spanned by column vectors of a matrix A, then it is called as a column space. Null space, the vector space consisting all the solutions of the homogeneous system of linear equations of Ax equal to 0, then it is called as a null space. The vector space consisting of all the solutions of the homogeneous system of linear equations Ax equal to 0. Here in this vector spaces, we are using the system of linear equations, homogeneous system of linear equations to prove the linearly independent set or to prove the spanning set. So this is a very, very important, the system of linearly homogeneous system of linearly equations. So row space means the vector space spanned by the row vectors of a matrix A. In the same way, column space means the vector space spanned by the column vectors of the matrix A. And null space means the vector space consisting of all the solutions of the homogeneous system of linear equations. Homogeneous means right side will be 0. Whatever the equations, linear equations is there equal to 0, that is called as a homogeneous system of linear equations. Now we discuss the basis and dimension of the each vector space, row space, dimension. What is the dimension of row space? What is the dimension of column space? What is the dimension of a null space? And also, what is the solutions of the Ax equal to b and Ax equal to 0 also will be discussed. Ax equal to b means this is a non-homogeneous linear equation. Ax equal to 0 means it is a homogeneous system of linear equations. To begin this three and to define these three vector spaces, row space, column space, null space, first, what is the notations of the row vectors and the column vectors of a matrix which is a size of m by n matrix? How to define the row vectors in a matrix A? It is a m by n matrix. See here, A is equal to A11, A12, so on A1n. In the same way, AM1, AM2, so on AMN. That means it is a matrix of A. It contains m rows and n columns. It contains m rows and n columns. In this matrix A, how to define the row vectors? See here, rows means already you know that. Rows means these are the rows. Columns means these are the A11, A21, and so on. AM1 is the first column. A12, A22, so on. AM2 is the second column, and so on. This is the another column. Therefore, like this you have to define. This is the first row, second row, and mth row. So here, this first row can be represented as A1, capital A1, because of here is A is the matrix. Therefore, the first row of the A matrix can be represented as A1, and second row can be represented as A2, and mth row can be represented as AM. Now taking the row vectors of A in the form of n tuples, therefore A1, row vectors of A is first row is A1. What is the first row elements? A11, A12, so on A1n. That are the first row elements. Taking the second row elements A2 here, A21, A22, so on A2n. This is the second row elements of a matrix A. In the same way, we can define mth row elements also, AM1, AM2, so on, AMN. That can be represented like this. Therefore, this is the mth row vectors. In the same way, we can define column vectors also with the size of m by 1. Here 1 by n, here m by n. Because of row is only one, columns is n columns. See here, row is only one. This row is only one. Columns is A11, A12, A1n. That's why 1 by n size of the row vectors. Column vectors means m by 1. Therefore, how to define the column vectors? Here suffix can be taken as a row vectors. Powers can be A. So for power, that is 1, A power 2, A power n are called represented as a column vectors. Therefore, for the sake of understanding of the column vectors, A equal to, what is the first column? A11, A21, AM1. That is A power 1 column, this one. And A2 column, A12, A22, so on, AM2. That can be represented as a second column of a vector of a matrix A. And take the nth column. Listen, this is A1n, A2n, and say last one is AMN. These are the column vectors. Row vectors like this, column vectors can be represented like this. Therefore, this is the representation of row vectors and column vectors. Because of to define the row space and column space, already in the previous slide I told what is the row space mean. The vector space spanned by the row vectors of a matrix A. Column space means the vector space spanned by the column vectors of the matrix A. So for this we have to learn these definitions: row vectors of A and column vectors of A. Let A be a m by n matrix. Row space of A is a subspace of R to the power of n spanned by the row of vectors of A. Row vectors of A subspace spanned by the row vectors of A can be represented as Rs of A. Therefore, here alpha 1 into A1, alpha 2 into A2, plus so on, alpha m into Am, taking the scalars alpha 1, alpha 2, so on, alpha m. This is the row space of A is always subspace of R to the power of n. Since because A1, A2, AM are linearly independent and A1, A2, AM can form a basis for the RS of A. That means row subspace of a vector space R to the power of n. Because of here already it is a spanning set, so any vector can be represented as a linear combination of the vectors of row space vectors. That's why it is a spanning set. It also forms a linearly independent set. Then it forms a basis for the row space vector of A. Similarly, we can define column space of A. Column space of A is also a subspace of R to the power of n. It is spanned by the column vectors of A. Column space can be defined as a column C space means S of A, matrix A. So this can be represented as beta 1 into A power n plus beta 2 into A power 2 plus so on plus beta n into A power n, where the scalars here taken beta 1, beta 2, so on, beta n belongs to R. It is a spanning set of the column space of a R to the power of n. Here, if A1, A2, An are linearly independent, maybe then A1, A2, A power n can form a basis for the column space of a vector space. So the definitions of the row space of A and column space of A satisfies automatically the closure conditions of vector addition and scalar multiplication. And also the dimension of row space of A and dimension of column space of A equal to the number of linearly independent row or columns of a vectors or column vectors of A. So how to define the dimension of row space of A means it equals to the number of linearly independent row vectors in A. Similarly, dimension of column space of a vector is equal to the number of linearly independent column vectors of A. This is the way of representation of a row space A and column space A. If the vectors are linearly, this is the spanning set of column space A. This is the spanning set of row space A. That's why it is spanned by the row vectors. It is also spanned by the column vectors. If they are linearly independent, then it can form a basis for the row space of a vector space. Similarly here, if A power n, A power 2 or A power n are linearly independent, then it can form a basis for the column space of a vector space here. Dimension of a row space of a vector space can be defined as number of linearly independent row vectors of A. In the same way, dimension of column space of a vector space can be defined the number of linearly independent column vectors of A. Now going to discuss about the examples. Therefore, if S is equal to 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, minus 2, 0, 1, span of R cube, use these vectors as row vectors to construct a A. A is equal to the first vector 1, 2, 3 can be represented as the first row of the matrix A. That means 1, 2, 3. The second vector of S 0, 1, 2 can be written as a second row of the matrix A. That's why 0, 1, 2. The third vector minus 2, 0, 1 in the S can be represented in the third row of the matrix A. That is minus 2, 0, 1. Therefore, the set of vectors of n, S use these three vectors to construct a row vectors of A. That is A is equal to form like this. This is called as a row space of A that is equal to R cube. Since already in the previous example, we proved already this one linearly independent set, they also can form a basis for the row vector space A. That's why these three vectors forms a basis for the row vector space A. In the previous lecture, we proved already this is forms a basis for R cube. Therefore, this span of R cube can be written as a row vectors using these three vectors as row vectors to construct A. Therefore, this forms a row space of A that also equal to R cube. Therefore, these three set of vectors, that is S, forms a basis for a row space of a vector space A. Since we take S1 equal to, we can add one more vector for this set of vectors. Already these three vectors 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, minus 2, 0, 1. We can add one more vector 1, 0, 0 that can be denoted as S1, also span of R cube. More than n vectors also forms a span of R cube. That's why A1 can be, the matrix can be written as a 4 row vectors 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, minus 2, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. Therefore, row space of A1 is equal to R cube. Because of row space of A1 spans R cube. Since these four vectors are not linearly independent, these four vectors are not linearly independent. That's why it cannot be a basis for row space of A1. But this example forms a basis for the row space of a vector space A because these three vectors are linearly independent, but these four row vectors are not linearly independent. They cannot form a basis for the row vector space A1. That means dimension of the row vector space of A is equal to 3, but in the second S1, it contains for 4 vectors, also span of R cube, but 3 vectors are only linearly independent. That's why row space of A1 is equal to R cube. Therefore, dimension of row space of A1 is also 3. These are the very, very important examples to note down. So in this section, we define dimension of a vector space. Just recall all the today discussions. First one is basis of a vector space. Let S equal to V1, V2, so on, Vn be a subset of a vector space V. S spans V and S is linearly independent. Then S is called as a basis of a vector space. Dimension of a vector space. The number of vectors in a basis for a vector space V, then we say that it is called as a dimension of the vector space. Any two bases of a vector space have the same number of elements, have the same number of n vectors. Therefore, here proved that the theorem, it is very important one. Now, definitions of the row space and column space and null space. The vector space spanned by only row vectors of a matrix A, then it is called as a row space A. The vector space spanned by the only column vectors of a matrix A, then that type of vector space is called as a column space A. Null space A, the vector space consisting of all solutions of the homogeneous system of linear equations Ax is equal to 0. These are the three definitions of row space and column space and null space. Thank you.